Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about stinging nettle. It is my favorite herb in the spring. It has so many benefits from mental health to just so much. Even increases testosterone, you guys. So let's get into it. First and foremost, I have to say if you are on blood thinners or hear these birds, or you're pregnant, you don't want to be taking this without your physician. Again, with any medicinals, I am just telling you my knowledge and the ways that people have used it for many, many years. I'm not telling you to do it. You are the only one that knows your medical conditions, so check into it before you jump into medicinals. So, stinging nettle, Urtica dioica. It is a superfood, extremely high in protein. So, what is the sting? The sting is formic acid. It is the medicine. It can produce high serotonin levels. Originally, stinging nettle was part of the cannabis family, which they changed it to the Ericaceae family. Um, Now, if you're using a lot of stinging nettle or you get a lot of urtication, they call it, you can feel euphoric or high, so to speak, from stinging nettle, but that is not its primary function. Um, so, urtication is self-stinging. So, it invigorates the tissues, helps remove stagnation in the system and the blood. It numbs for 24 hours. Some people have been known to use it to hit their head to stimulate hair growth, to hit their hands and any achy joints or bad knees, to help with that, as it's an anti-inflammatory. And some people even hit their backs around their kidney area to flush toxins out that way. Now, I have not done any of this self-stinging. I am not into that. I do use it internally and externally. I do use it in my hair wash and in many other applications. So, um, what was I going to say? So, hi, I'm Tracy. Welcome to my channel. If you haven't been here before, I'm going to be talking about stinging nettle today. My channel is all about learning new things, especially medicinals, which is why I say the more we know, the more we grow. So, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. So, it is a nutritive spring tonic. It has an infinity for aiding our protein pathways. Yes, that's a mouthful. Building our blood proteins, helping with protein absorption and digestive health. Um, it's one of these things, you guys, that just is so rounded and does so many different things. It helps remove uric acid buildup in our systems via it being a diuretic, which means it flushes us out extra fluids. So it flushes us out through our kidney and our bladder, removing the extra buildup of uric acid. Very, very important. It works regarding diabetics, regarding blood sugar irregularities. It regulates insulin as well as being a vasodilator. And what that means is it increases the size of our vessels and the nitric acid in them, stabilizing our blood pressure and cleaning our blood. So it's an amazing, amazing herb. So one of the bonuses about stinging nettle is it helps with mental clarity and sharpness. And who doesn't need a big dose of that? It's also to be said to be helpful with depression, anxiety, and there's some new study going into its benefits with people with PTSD, which I know there's a lot of people struggling from it, and you know, it might be worth your while to try a cup of stinging nettle tea. Now, again, this isn't a pharmaceutical, so it's not an instantaneous thing. When you're using medicinals, you want to start slowly, and be very mindful of how it affects your body. You know, I mean, for things like anxiety, depression, even PTSD, I'm hearing 3 to 4 cups a day can really help with that. Again, it would take some time. So, vitamins, it is high in vitamin A, B, or yeah, A, B2, B5, B6, B9, vitamin C, vitamin E, and vitamin K. It is extremely high in fiber and protein, magnesium, potassium, iron, as well as essential fatty acids. Now, as far as its properties, it is an antioxidant, very, very high antioxidant, antihistamine, anti inflammatory, antiviral, antimicrobial, antispasmodic, anti tumor, and anti-ulcer. Now, I have heard some people say that people with ulcers should not use stinging nettle. However, I have also heard from people with ulcers that have used stinging nettle to completely alleviate their problems. So again, do your own research, and that's all I know. I haven't had ulcers, so I don't know. So now this is an amazing thing about stinging nettle. It regulates your thyroid health and balances your metabolism. It boosts and supports our immune system and our respiratory system, both the systems and their functions. It's good for things like anemia because of its high protein and whatnot. It's good for gout, eczema, and great for skin care, even acne and blemishes and things like that. So now regarding our hair, I use this stuff in my hair rinse. Um, it promotes strong hair growth. It reduces hair drop. Who doesn't want to do that? Now, I was talking about the eradication when people hit themselves in the head. Now, if any of you are experiencing hair loss and you try it, please leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. Now, myself, when I first went off of pharmaceuticals, I had a lot of hair loss here on my sides, and I would make myself a paste out of stinging nettle powder that I had dehydrated and powdered up, and dandelion root powder, and I mixed those together, and I would make a paste, and I would put them here on my areas where my hair was thinning, and I tell you, it grew back, and it's so much healthier now. So it is usable in other ways other than hitting yourself in the head. So I encourage you guys to look into that and try it. So um, allergies. So it contains histamine blockers. It opens the bronchiola and the whole respiratory system and relaxes everything, making it easier for you to breathe, easing things like sneezing, itching, as it is an anti-inflammatory, taking down any redness and swelling. Most people that use this for allergies, that have suffered from allergies, say it's way better than the stuff that they buy over the counter, and there's no side effects from it. So again, if you're an allergy sufferer, I encourage you to try to drink a couple cups of tea a day and see if it helps you with your symptoms. Now, this plant is known mostly for men's prostate health. It is a benefit to all sorts of things when it comes to both women and men, bladder and reproductive systems. For the urinary tract, it's good for the bladder, the kidney. It's good for urinary blockages, and it flushes out and detoxes our systems. So when it comes to men's prostate health, originally they said it was the roots that were the benefit. Now, when it comes to the flowers and the seeds, they have what's called a tropo-restorative, which means it increases the vitality, it increases it increases testosterone, and there's a system in our body where it can take testosterone and turn it to estrogen, which is really not a good thing for men, and this repairs that or stops that from happening and gets you to enhance your testosterone more naturally. Now, they traditionally say it's the roots, the flowers, and the seeds. Some people say the flowers and the seeds, don't touch them, they're bad. I mean, again, do your own research. And when it comes to prostate health, I believe that if you mix the stinging nettle with pomelo, it's much more beneficial. So that's, again, something for you to look into. Now, it grows underground via rhizomes. I'm going to try to pull one up. I should have brought my gloves. Okay, no, that one just came off like a root. But see these clusters here? They're all connected underground via the rhizome. So when I harvest them, hang on here. When I harvest them, what I do is I take the tops of them. So I would take the top 3 or 4 leaves like that, and I would cut it right at the axis. So the next leaves would be right there. Now I'm going to take this one off and show you. So what that does is now, you see where we've cut it there? It's going to branch out on both sides, which means when I come back, I'm going to have double the tips to harvest. Now, if you can see on this plant, the leaves on stinging nettle grow opposite. They'll always be opposite, so it's crisscross like that. And if you can see, there's stingers all along the stalk, all along the branches and the leaves and the bottoms of the leaves. Now, does the sting hurt? It doesn't really hurt. It's like, it feels, I don't even know, kind of like electricity. To me, it feels like electricity. Like it feels like I got zapped by something. Not hard, again. It doesn't hurt by any means of the word. Stinging nettle traditionally grows along the forest edge. So where the forest meets the the pastures or an opening in the forest, you'll usually find it along the edges. Now they like a moister ground. They like their feet in the water kind of thing. So it grows typically in the shade. You'll find it along creeks and streams out in the forest. What I do with it, I dehydrate it. I harvest it throughout the year. I dehydrate it and I powder it. Some of the powder I use, you can use for things like making your own pasta, making your own bread. You can, sorry, there's a squirrel up there causing havoc. You can add it really to anything you want in a powdered form. I do leave some of my leaves full and I use those for tea. Like I break them down a bit, but I don't pulverize them, right? And they hang on to their medicinal benefits a little bit better that way. You can also use it fresh, just like this, cut it and give it a rinse and steam it, just like spinach. Now, when stinging nettle is cooked, it loses that stinging factor. Now, a lot of people say when it's dehydrated, it no longer stings. However, that is not true. It needs that heat process. And when I dehydrate mine, I don't use my machine all the time. Sometimes I'll just cure it. And by curing it, I mean just hanging it and letting it dry naturally without any forced air or anything. And like I said, once it's cooked, the stingers are gone, so you can use it in replacement of spinach in, say, a lasagna or whatever. Now, you can eat the very tippy tops right up there, the very 2 tops. You can eat those fresh. Have I? No. It's a really good medicinal and protein to have on your pantry shelf. So I really encourage you guys to get out there, get to know stinging nettle, find where it's growing. It is fairly, like I said, with the rhizome, it spreads via rhizome and seed. So it is really easy to get it back to your property from the wild, and it will grow. It's something I use. I feed my chickens. They love it. Even when we had the goats like the stinging nettle as well. Again, it's high in protein. It's got so many medicinal benefits. And that is all I have to say today about stinging nettle. I've just got my basket and I'm going off to harvest some more. I harvested my lower patches and now I have to harvest this one and then a little bit in the forest there where it still grows. So I thank you so much for coming by my channel. I hope you learned something new today. Smash that thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.